And we are almost live. It's like that
It's
spinning
always
circle.
that awkward 10 seconds.
Yep. There we go. We are live with the one and only Lauren Duke. And Lauren, we are so excited. You speak one of my favorite languages, which is operations.
I do, yes.
Yes. And then the second favorite, which is profit. And today you're going to be diving into us on how and talking to us, doing a masterclass on how to run a profitable admin team, right?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, we couldn't be more excited for you to do this today. So if you're watching live, you can, if you're watching on the Zoom, know that you can jump in live and have the opportunity to have your questions answered directly. At the end of her workshop, she's going to go through and answer questions. So I would highly suggest we will, in our comments, drop in the actual Zoom link. So I suggest getting in the Zoom room, but you can also watch streaming. And I think on that note, Kristen, do you have anything to share before we let Lauren take it away?
Nope, I've got my pen and paper and I'm ready to take notes.
Yay.
Super excited.
All right, Lauren, it's all you, friend.
All right, perfect. This is going to be the part where I embarrass myself on trying to share my screen. Okay. No, we're good. I did it okay. We're okay. All right. Thank you, ladies. I am so excited to be here today. Like Randy said, my name is Lauren Duke, and I'm the owner of Core Ops Collective. I am the former chief operating officer of a top 10 mega team and oversaw the closing of 3,000 transactions, recruited, onboarded, and trained over 150 agents, and opened up 21 expansion teams. So in doing all of that, I quite literally made every mistake possible. And the biggest lesson that I learned is that, or one of the biggest lessons, I should say, is that your admin do not have to be an overhead expense for you. And I think that that is such a misconception, because the reality of it is that if you have an admin who pours into your business, who is motivated to grow your business, then they will inevitably be profitable for you. Okay. And I get it, right? Balancing a real estate career with motherhood is climbing two mountains at the same time, right? And the constant juggle between, showing homes, closing deals, managing clients, the whole 9 yards, right? Still making it, oh my gosh, still making it home in time for dinner and actually like focusing on bath time and bedtime and all of that. It's a balancing act, and it's hard to pull off without feeling like you are dropping the ball somewhere. So having an admin team and having a profitable admin team behind you, it's going to do wonders. Okay. So let's get into it. You don't have to do it all, right? There's a way to keep your business running smoothly and still be the mom that you want to be. And that secret lies in building a powerful admin team, one that not only supports you, but also helps drive your business forward. Okay. Now I want to make this super clear. This is not a masterclass on how like delegating paperwork can save you time, and that time is money. Okay. This is about the actual ways that your admin can help bring in profit for you. Okay. So if you are subscribed to my email list already, then you know that I am definitely one who has, like, in my opinion, the good kind of emails to read. But the other day we sent out one that was about Gossip Girl, and how Gossip Girl has some really amazing automations set up, or at least a really great admin team behind them. Okay. So, and we sent that email out when we were inviting everyone to the call today. So I want you to imagine yourself having that same kind of team. Okay. And I'm really, really sorry if you haven't seen Gossip Girl, or if you're going through it right now. I will have a spoiler alert, so like skip the next 10 seconds. But if you are just standing around like Dan Humphrey was, and somehow, some way, everyone got the message about Blair confessing her love to Chuck right after she walks down the aisle to marry Prince Louis, okay? And Dan was there the whole time. How? Someone please tell us, okay? That is an admin team behind him some way, okay? So let's let's get into it. Let's figure out how your admin can be an extension of you and actually bring in revenue at the same time. But before I do, I want to mention that I have a really incredible lead magnet that'll be provided towards the end, a 12-month client engagement calendar that gives at least one client touch a week, more like 2, in the form of text, email, social media, cards, the whole 9 yards. Okay, so it's categorized by month and relates to the season, and your admin team can absolutely follow it easily. Okay, let's get on with it. So let's start off with how your team, your admin can help bring in actual revenue, not just, checking boxes and taking tasks off your plate. That's fantastic, right? But really making an impact by building up your referral network in a way that is strategic and meaningful. Because your admin can absolutely be an extension of you. Your admin can do the things that you have been wanting to implement, but haven't had time for. But ideally, they're also stepping in and doing the work as if they were you. All right. So this is how they can genuinely amplify your presence and voice, allowing you to be in multiple places at one time while still maintaining that authenticity. And here's how we're going to make that happen. So your admin can join Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, online communities where your ideal clients, partners, peers, where they're hanging out, right? But they're not going to be there to sell. They're just going to be there to engage. Okay. So by answering questions, sharing insights, joining conversations, your admin is building up trust within these spaces. They're not hard selling. Okay. They're building genuine connections. The very thing you've probably had on your to-do list for forever. All right. So they need to understand your style in order to do that. So spend some time up front sharing your tone, vocabulary, communication style. Show them how you would answer some of these questions so they know how to capture your voice. And this way, when they're connecting with people online, it doesn't just feel like it's someone from your team. It feels like your team as a whole, or it feels like you, right? They can also set up reminders and follow-up touch points to keep these relationships alive, whether that's by checking in on a client's progress or remembering a referral partner's recent milestone. Okay, this is how they're not only helping maintain your relationships, but making sure that they grow and stay fresh and engaged. So a solid referral network definitely takes maintenance, and your admin can track who's sending referrals, who's a promising connection for your future, right? And who might need a little bit of a nudge. They can take ownership and schedule check-ins, send updates, even arrange small, like little thank you gifts to keep those relationships warm, active, etc. They can be someone who is out there, not just promoting your brand and you, but truly nurturing those connections. So how are we going to track all these referrals and follow-ups? They can put them in your CRM, right? So start with a CRM if you're just getting started, or a well-organized Google Sheet works really well as well. Okay, so this could be a comprehensive list that includes names, contact information, how the referral relationship started, the source, any relevant notes, right? So they should also track whether or not they've sent a referral or received with dates. So it's easy to see at a glance. And I have one in the Real Estate Business Hub that I've created that links a Google form for referral partners to efficiently give their information for you to have on hand. And I'll go over that a little bit later, but each time your admin connects with someone, they should record a note in there of what was discussed. So that way they can reference it, you can reference it, you know what's going on in their life as well as your admin does. And your admin, your operations professionals, a lot of times they're the unsung heroes. Okay. They're the behind the scenes. No one really knows what they're doing or where they're doing it, but they're the ones keeping everything running. Okay. They're managing the systems. They're handling the details. And most people don't even realize that a lot of the things that they do need as much attention as they do. So when your admin connects with other operations people, they are building a network that can become a valuable source of referrals and ideas and best practices that directly benefit your business as well. So what I'm saying is don't keep your admin locked away behind closed doors, just like pretending to be you. You really want to encourage them to go out and meet other operations people and create their own network. So who has ever had an admin actually bring in a referral for you? Because if they are not, they should be. All right. And let's figure out what that should look like. So let's say your admin's annual salary is $50,000. Okay. I'm not saying that it should be, I'm just giving an example here. So this becomes the target for what you want their referral generated income to cover. The goal is to meet or exceed that salary so that they are directly paying essentially their own salary and it's contributing to your bottom line. Okay. So you want to divide the salary target by the average referral GCI to see how many referrals are needed annually for a goal for them to reach for, right? So if your average referral GCI is 5,000 and their salary is 50,000, easy math, they need 10 referrals for the year. Okay. But I want to stop and brag for a second because this screenshot here on the slides is a real life text that I got on Friday. And I absolutely just had to include it in here. It was perfect timing. But I talk all the time with my operations coaching clients about becoming profitable. And I got this text from one of them and I was like literally the proudest mama bear that there ever was. They have a team of 4 admin. And she said that referrals this month covered 75% of payroll. And I'm just so proud. I'm so proud. So when your admin team becomes profitable like that, set up some type of bonus structure or reward so that they are more motivated to continue bringing them in. So your admin doesn't just have to help you become more profitable by bringing in business, although that is always great, right? But they can also go through your expenses, cutting unnecessary ones, and making sure that you're actually using the things that you pay for. So first things first, what tools are you using? Start by listing out every subscription, tool, software, everything that you're currently paying for. Your CRMs, email marketing, project management tools, all of it. If it has a line on your bank statement, it belongs on this list. And the audit might be an eye opener, but it's the first step to cutting costs that just don't serve you anymore. And you want to look for overlaps. If you're paying for some fancy CRM, but your brokerage offers a really great one for free, why do you need both, right? Brokerages often have versions of big name tools that do the job just as well. So you'd be surprised how much you can save by just swapping to the brokerage provided services. And here's where you got to break it down. Okay. Take each tool that you're paying for and ask, how often is it being used? I mean, really used, not just like there and you sometimes open it up, because unused or underused subscriptions are basically just cash sitting there. All right. And you can have your admin streamline everything within your Google Workspace. I don't know who here pays for Calendly, but in case you didn't know, Google Calendar has scheduling built in that can give you all of the links, just like Calendly does. And it's integrated right with your Google Calendar, and it's free because you're essentially free because you're already paying for Google Workspace. Okay. We've got Google Meet for video calls. I love Zoom for the bigger webinar calls like this, but if you're just getting on a Zoom call with a client, Google Meet will do the job just fine. So you can have your admin switch over to that as well. And using Google Chat for in-team messaging. If you're paying for Slack or any other messaging tool, Google Chat has the same features as far as having channels and direct messaging and a space for team communication, okay? So having them track your income. It doesn't have to be fancy to be effective. A well-organized Google Sheet does wonders. And you're going to have a way to track your big goals, right? So if you have an annual revenue target and you turn it into monthly or quarterly goals, your admin is able to help you see whether or not you're hitting them. And if you're far off track, they are able to kind of pull you back in and say, nope, over here, stay over here, right? I know for myself, I absolutely need that. I need the accountability and I'm big enough to admit it, okay? So whenever I get too far off, my admin literally says to me, is this contributing to the bigger goal, okay? Also tracking your income and tracking your pipeline and all of that, it gives you a chance to like breathe for a second because you can be confident about the income coming in instead of always feeling like the sky is falling and you're going to go bankrupt. So I'm not going to put anyone on the spot here and ask them if they have a budget because chances are you either don't or you do, but it gets ignored, and that's totally okay. We all have our strengths, and this might not be yours, but it should be your admin's, okay? So you want to make sure that you have a handle on every dollar that is being spent and that it has a purpose. So breaking expenses down into categories like events, partner gifts, marketing materials, client appreciation, whatever it may be, so that you are giving your admin a clear, or you and your admin are working together to have a clear structure for managing spending without the guesswork, okay? And align those budgets with your business goals, because you're not just putting a limit on the spending, but you're spending with purpose. You want to make sure that each budget category ties back to that big revenue goal. For example, if you're setting aside funds for events, okay, the goal might be to increase client engagement because you know that every event brings you 5, 6, 7 new clients. So making sure that your admin understands the why behind each budget, it's easier to stay on track and cut out the fluff, all right? Now, also using an expense tracker so that they can see, hey, we got this subscription again and we're not doing anything with it, okay? So we already know that in real estate, the work doesn't end at the closing table. It is truly just the beginning of a long-term relationship, but here's the thing, it's not good enough, I guess, to say that a random follow-up email or the once-a-year holiday card is enough these days, because there are 1.4 million realtors out there and you need to create a system that sets you apart from the rest. So you and your admin can run that system for you to where it feels personal, genuine, and is actually valuable. Because the goal is to keep you top of mind, to continue adding value long after the sale and build loyalty that lasts. So having intentional touch points, staying relevant, showing clients that they're more than just a closed deal. So let's dive into that. Now, once the deal is done, ink's dry, whole 9 yards, have your admin send a thank you email that feels personal, but not over the top. So this is where they drop a link to your preferred review platform, and you want to make it easy for clients to leave that 5-star review while they're still in the honeymoon phase. Okay. I personally think it's best to have their experience written for them. You want reviews that are personal, that are specific, because not only will they help boost your SEO, but they're going to help other people understand the experience that they're going to get when they work with you. So you want to do this without making your client do all of the work to get it. I like to have review emails or text, whatever, say like, hey, Randy, congratulations on closing today. It was my absolute pleasure to be able to assist you during this transaction. I still cannot believe that we got 10K over asking price in this insane market, right? Now, as a real estate agent, my business relies on reviews and referrals. And when you get the time, I'd love it if you would tell other people about what they can expect from working with me. Whether the highlight of the transaction was that we were able to get over asking price or that we were able to negotiate close in under 28 days, it would just mean so much if you could tell others about it. Click here to leave the review, right? Because by being specific and essentially telling them what to put in it, your review is going to be so much more than them just clicking that 5 stars and calling it good. So about a month later, have your admin pop back in with one of those friendly, no pressure type of emails. Think back through and mention things that they were excited about, whether it was the pool or the proximity to their kids' school, whatever it may be. Just check in and see how they're adjusting and ask, like, have you gotten the curtains up yet? It's that perfect chance to remind them about the positive things that happened throughout the transaction, and a great chance to ask for referrals as well. And your admin can also perform the 6-month and 1-year follow-ups as well. They can send that, can you believe it's been 6 months already? Or happy home anniversary, right? Asking for referrals as well there too. So this is where that lead magnet comes in that I told you about in the beginning. So make sure you grab it at the QR code here, the 12-month client touch point. They can set this up so that it feels genuine and keeps you on your client's radar without overwhelming them. The key is to vary the touch points so they stay engaged and they feel like they are getting value from you. Okay. So on this blueprint here, we've got literally like 6 or 8 things per month that they can be sending out that are way more than just like, here's another market update for you. So client appreciation events, I don't know if anybody here does them, but they are absolutely a chance to make a lasting impression well beyond the transaction as well. Give your clients a reason to refer you without even asking. You can align them with the season that makes the event feel natural and easy. And it's the perfect excuse for clients to bring along family, friends, neighbors, whoever it is. Some go-to seasonal ideas that your admin can organize would be like a summer barbecue. So a relaxed outdoor barbecue, casual, family-friendly, easygoing, perfect for clients to bring their families, friends, even neighbors who might be in the market soon, right? Just some lawn games, good food in a totally laid-back setting. But then you can also have a holiday open house because holidays are prime time for reconnecting, right? A holiday open house really lets you bring the festive cheer with holiday treats, music, small giveaways like ornaments, nice blankets, whatever. But your admin can coordinate the setup, the music, all of the things that feel so big and overwhelming to you that if you had the time or the brain space, the capacity, whatever, that they would pan out for you in the end. And here's my last big admin secret is that you can have your admin start reaching out for sponsorships to get your events covered. Okay. Don't think that you need to be fronting the bill for all of this. This is about how to have a profitable admin team, not to go and have your admin spend more of your money. Okay, so partner up with people that just you get along with in the industry or that align with your brand, and people that'll actually bring something your clients will care about. Okay, so mortgage lenders, title folks, you can have what, like 50% of your events covered from a lender per RESPA, and home service providers like landscaping companies. I think I was just talking to someone the other day about like home service providers. We listed off like 20 of them in the first 3 minutes of talking with one another. So having those people sponsor your events is going to go so much further than you trying to pay for it all yourself. And then if you're having an event and you have food trucks or, you know, local little flower trucks come for like a Mother's Day event or something like that, partnering with community, people within your community, it's going to give them a chance to expand their reach as well. So definitely have your admin get your events sponsored. So we covered quite a bit of ground today. I feel like I flew through this really fast and I definitely didn't mean to, but we went through, you know, creating a referral system, managing budgets, nurturing client relationships. The goal of having an admin on your team is not to just lighten your load. Okay. It's to turn your business into a serious profit driving. It's to turn your admin, that the operations side of your business, into a serious profit driving asset. Okay. When your admin takes charge of all of these systems, they are actively growing it. Okay. So give your admin the tools and the structure and watch them turn everyday tasks into revenue generating machines. Okay. So if you are ready to dive deeper, get hands-on guidance, or just need a little bit of accountability as your admin builds out these systems, let's definitely talk, because my one-on-one coaching is designed to help you set up a profitable, efficient operations team that adds real value to your bottom line. And scene, I am complete.
Insane. I love that. I love that. Oh my gosh. So I love all of this. And one of the questions I'll kick us off with, Lauren, is that, you know, now that I'm 20 years in, one of the questions I always get is like, how do you do all the things? And it really is like layering it on. And so would you say that one of the most successful hacks is like finding the right hire that can begin to execute your vision and build it on one layer at a time?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also, stop thinking small too. You want to do all of these things and you're sitting there thinking like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do it all? And that's the wrong way to think about it. You need to think about who is going to help me do this.
That's good. That's really good.
But yes, also finding the right person. A lot of times it's not the first even 3 people you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because you need to learn how you operate in your own business in order to help someone else grow within yours as well.
Yeah, that's so good. Okay, well, we can open it up for questions. Kristen, did you have anything that you wanted to share?
I have 2 pages of notes. I loved everything. I definitely feel like one of the things on my to-do list is to do that audit of my subscriptions. Like, I don't even know how many I have, and I'm sure I'm not using all of them. And then the other thing is the Google Calendar, like swapping out the Google Calendar for Calendly. That sounds like such a task. Like, but it also like makes so much sense. I do everything through Google.
Yeah, I mean, but also it sounds like such a task that you don't have to do, right?
Oh, yeah, my calendar's one I should. Yes, totally.
Yeah.
It's funny that you said, when you said workspace in chat, it got me because so I just did another admin hire and I was literally asking specific questions because I'm that person that just gets the most random issues. Like right now I'm presently locked out of everything. I don't know what's happening. My email, my GoDaddy, all the things, just all the things happen to me. And I was like, I don't want to talk to you on Slack, and I don't want to have like school for one thing and then base camp for another thing. And like, I'm a systems girl, but I have so many systems that it's like ridiculous. And so I was like, how are you going to bring it all together? And she had a good answer. She was like, can we just be in a text message? And I was like, yeah, that's actually pretty easy. But I love that you were like, chat can bring it in together as well. Like that one place for all the things. And it's funny because I do my financial scrubs every single quarter. And I never, ever think of little things like, oh, I'm using Google and I could use Google Meeting and not use Zoom. Like that was a good one.
Yeah, and having everything like within chat, you can link everything straight from your Google Drive. So if you're like, hey, can you take this and create the email campaign in Flowdesk, whatever, I've drafted it out here, it's already linked. You don't have to like download it or get the link or whatever. You literally just click it.
So I have one more question, then hopefully somebody else has a question, so we don't have to just listen to me. But like Kristen loves Trello. And so we've got all the stuff in Trello. And so I try to make a habit of going to Trello. But my question is like Google have the capabilities to have things like Trello or like Monday? Because there is some really nice organizations to them.
No, there's definitely pros and cons to it. If you're wanting like the Kanban view like Trello gives, I would probably stick with Trello, but for just generating like KPI reports and keeping the whole spreadsheet feel, I mean, I am by no means like a Google expert. I feel like everyone's like, oh, what systems do you use? And I'm like, oh, I use Google and I have my email marketing, and that's really it.
Yeah.
So, and then Zapier.
I don't know what Gossip Girl is, but your email headlines always get me. The topic subject lines always get me. So I was like, what's Gossip Girl? Like, I'm like, what is Lauren talking about now? So you did the job because you always disrupt my thought.
Well, good. That's my goal.
I love that. All right. Does anybody on the call live want to go ahead and unmute and ask a question? This is your chance.
So quiet.
I'll jump in. I'm Grace. I'm from Denver.
Hi.
Where is do you have any resources, and maybe this is part of your business offering, sourcing this admin person? Like, where do we find the most success in finding the talent?
It all stems from figuring out what exactly you need, creating that job description, because if you don't know what you need, you could get 100 people before you find the right one. Do I source them? No, I do not, because that is just not my area and I don't want to be liable for that, if I'm being honest. But I do help train them for sure.
Yeah.
That's good
So,
to know.
Is there a vendor partner that does source them?
Yeah, so we do, Grace. Her name is Candace, and her staff is international. So I do think it's really important to kind of start with Lauren to understand. I will say I actually just made a hire with somebody that does have very good comfort level, like having conversations. And even our community manager for Moms in Real Estate very much engages, very comfortable, and we were able to make that hire through her. But I definitely, right now, Lauren, I just had to say, like when you said I train them, I felt like that was a huge gap fill in, because Candace does also, and great on like actual systematic training, right? But I feel like together it's like the perfect meshing, because more of like the strategy and the conversational and like how to actually learn that brand voice. I feel like you could fill that gap in, and that would be, there's my business plan for 2025. Get more stuff from Candace and have Lauren train them, and I'm done.
Mine's definitely bridging the gap from like, you bring an admin on and you're like, here's the 20 things I need you to check off my list. And then in order to not keep them in that task checker mentality, I coach and develop them to become like a true leader, a true growth partner for you.
How long does
I
it
have
take?
How long does it take?
Yeah, like if you have somebody that's like gets hired onto a team, And then like you're coaching them. What's the coaching like typically? Is it like a month? Is it 6 months?
It varies on who the person is and like what level they're at. I've gone through 1 month, and I've been with some people for 1.5 years. So
Okay.
it's very dependent.
Yeah.
I feel like someone else was.
So I just had a question kind of to piggyback on, where people are finding these admins. And I think, of course, the virtual option is interesting and incredibly cost effective. Like I had that meeting last week with Candace to kind of get that, the idea of what that might look like. But on the flip side, I think if there is this idea that maybe this person could be bringing in referrals and maybe is also locally connected, that hiring somebody within your own community is also interesting. But I'm curious, like what your experience has been, or if anyone in the group today has had this of like, it's similar to like when people bring on like a buyer's agent or, are growing a team, like, do you find that assistant quickly realizes, especially when they're managing the books, like, oh gosh, if I just go, do this myself, like, rather, like, are you investing 6 months into somebody to build them up only for them to say, I'm just going to go get licensed, like this makes so much more sense for me to do this, like how to continue to incentivize them. I love the idea of bonusing and things like that to just ensure that all of our goals are aligned. But yeah, what experience looks like with that and making sure that you're getting people who are with you for the long haul.
So I right now am building like an operations community, like a core ops operations community. And the people that I have in there currently, if you were to ask them to get licensed, their hands would probably start shaking and they would like hyperventilate into a brown paper bag, because operations people, operations people for the most part are operations minded. They are not sales minded. And actually moving from being COO into owning my own business and realizing that, oh, I do have to have a sales hat has been incredibly difficult for me. So the right operations person for you isn't going to go and get licensed unless it's to like, I don't know, help you recruit or something like that. But even then, they're still an extension of you helping you do something, right? They're not. The right operations person is so like, do you know anything about the DISC assessment at all, Charlene?
Yeah.
They are so like CS oriented that when you have to pull out their I in order to like be an extension of you, they're like, okay, that's enough.
Gotcha.
Charlene, I'll add my perspective. I've had both. So I've had all in-house staff that were licensed. And, we were operating inside a hub together and all the things. And now as I go into 2025, since I'm scaling a little bit differently, my team's more going to be international. And I will say, I really think it's important to just think about the particular season of business you're in and the, quarterly or even the annual objectives that you have. And then match it based on that. So like, I know I need to bring back in somebody else local. Like there's certain things missing in my business. My last ops person knew random things. Like she knew a lot about like trees and like, she just built relationships a different way. And like, I could never get that from somebody internationally. They're not going on a listing appointment with me. Right. But this season doesn't require that. This season, I can totally do it with an international team. And then that's a later hire. So I think that what really helps is just understanding like, what is my next tactical goal? Where am I scaling to right now? And matching based on that, because I do think that once you're fully built out, you probably have both most times. And Lauren, you can probably speak to this, but you usually, when my personal production is between 80 to 100, I'm doing really good with one ops person. And then they usually have a VA that supports them. And so we usually still have 2 to 3 support, people. So it's just a matter of when you're hiring them. That might help you a little bit to just kind of look at that next section of tactical goals.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting to have the VA support your ops person. That is an interesting way to do it.
Look at it less from I'm scared that I'm going to invest in them just for them to go get licensed and do it on their own. Because at that point too, it's like, okay, you're telling me that you want to do this. and you are the right fit, like for the role and for your company and whatever, figure out how to incorporate it so that you're getting the best of both worlds for each other.
Right.
I'll share my, so my ops person did my TC. And so that's where I actually got the referral. So rather than having an expectation on her to go outside of, because she was an operations person, so she very much liked being in her office. She liked her settings. She likes her systems. So rather than expecting her to go somewhere else and to find us opportunities, my expectation was, 2 referrals through the transaction process. And I teed them up for that. So I would, initiate in my buyer's console, I'm saying, hey, just so you know, if we're exceeding expectations, my staff's going to be asking for referrals. And then the operations person thrived in that because it was just part of her process to ask for those referrals. And then she was really, really good at serving them. So it was really natural. So where my ops people got me the best referrals was actually in the transaction coordination process. All the things we can do. We just thought we were selling houses, just thought we had to open doors.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Mhm. All right, well,
Yeah.
do we have, yeah, I think we have a couple in the chat. Hold on, Lauren, I don't want to miss anybody. Let's see.
Well,
Okay.
while you're getting those, I want to touch on having sponsorships again, like for events and all of that, and why that is so important, really. There was an event that my team was planning, and the costs ended up racking up like over $7,500. And we made 3 calls and we got it sponsored 2 days before the event. And it was like, okay, sweet. This guy's paying this amount, that guy's paying that amount, that guy's paying that amount. Cool. So you can have these big elaborate events as long as you're partnering with the right people. And actually the person who sent me that text message, she planned an event in like a huge Easter egg hunt with 400 attendees in her community. And she paid $60 for it.
So good. Oh my
So not
goodness.
bad.
Now that you've got all of our wheels turning and we're all thinking about all the things we want to leverage away and all the things we want to scale in 2025, thank you so much. And, Kristen and I are aware that your family's going through a lot right now. And so we always appreciate when you show up, but the fact that at such a tough time for your family, you still wanted to show up for our community. We're just super honored and we're so thankful to have you as somebody to refer our community to. So thank you. And thank you all ladies that attended live. And I know we had a couple comments of people that were driving or they were missing it. So if you're missing it and you're asking if you can get the replay, of course you can. We will have it up on our YouTube channel, and we'll also send it out in our email list, our weekly email as well. All right,
Thank
guys.
you so much.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.